In 2024, McKinsey billed clients for AI systems that automate 27% of exactly what McKinsey had been charging them £10,000 a day to do by hand. They knew this. They built it anyway. And right now, it's the only part of their business that's actually growing. Here's the thing nobody talks about. The firms that understand disruption better than anyone, the ones paid to see it coming, are the ones with the most to lose from stopping it. So they're not stopping it. They're billing for it. And by the end of this, you'll understand exactly how that works and why it might be the most expensive self-inflicted disruption in professional services history. Let's go back to the beginning. Management consulting runs on a pyramid. A few senior partners at the top. A vast base of junior analysts grinding at the bottom. Partners sell the work. Juniors do 95% of it. That's not a bug. It's the engine. It's how the margin happens. And junior analysts are not cheap. Even at entry level, a consultant billed at £100 to £300 an hour is doing very specific work. Data collection, market research, competitive analysis, slide decks, synthesis reports, first draft proposals. That's how McKinsey reached 45,000 employees. How BCG hit $13.5 billion in revenue in 2024. How Accenture built a workforce of 750,000 people. You scale consulting by adding bodies to the base of the pyramid. The whole model runs on one assumption. Clients can't do this work themselves. They don't have the analysts. They don't have the frameworks. They don't have armies of people who can pull 80-hour weeks building the PowerPoint deck that convinces the board to approve the restructure. Consulting firms were selling access to a capability clients genuinely couldn't replicate. The information asymmetry was real. The expertise was real. The $10,000 a day rate was expensive, but it wasn't irrational. That assumption is now broken, and the firms that broke it are the firms still collecting the fee. November 2022, ChatGPT launches. And within months, not years, months, the consulting industry realizes that the entire junior analyst layer is directly in the crosshairs. The International Council of Management Consulting Institutes cited a figure that should have set off alarms across every firm. 27% of management consulting tasks have a high likelihood of automation. That sounds manageable. Until you dig into what that 27% actually covers. A consultant writing for the University of Bristol's careers blog ran the same exercise on her own role. Her number wasn't 27%, it was 75%. 3/4 of her own billable work, gone. And when you look at what that work is, report writing, data collection, market research, competitive analysis, slide creation, first draft proposals, you realise that's not peripheral. That is the core deliverable of every junior engagement. That's what the pyramid was built to produce. McKinsey's response was not to slow down. It was to build faster. In July 2023, McKinsey launched Lilli, an internal generative AI tool rolled out across the firm. Today, 72% of their workforce uses it. Lilli handles research. Lilli drafts proposals. Lilli creates the PowerPoint decks. It runs 500,000 prompts a month. Reclaims up to 30% of research time. That's 50,000 labour hours recovered, every single month. McKinsey's Chief Technology Officer, Jackie Wright, made the point publicly, and I'm paraphrasing the substance of her remarks. Do we need armies of business analysts creating PowerPoints? No, the technology can do that. Let that land. The firm's most senior technology executive confirmed that the entry-level work, the base of the entire pyramid, can be automated. McKinsey kept billing clients for that entry-level layer, then started charging clients to build their own version of Lilli. Here's where it gets interesting. BCG's CEO, Christoph Schweitzer, announced publicly that AI would represent 20% of BCG's revenue and would double to 40% by 2026. By 2025, BCG reported $14.4 billion in revenue. AI consulting now accounts for roughly 25% of that. They're ahead of their original timeline, not at 40% yet, but growing faster than most predicted. Accenture signed £3 billion in new generative AI contracts in fiscal 2024 alone. IBM secured a $6 billion AI book of business since launching watsonx in 2023. EY's AI-related revenue grew 30% in its 2025 financial year. This is not a marginal revenue line being quietly built on the side. AI consulting has become the primary growth engine for every major firm, at exactly the moment it threatens the traditional model. The firms are not hedging. They're all in. And then came the other number, the one that tells you who's actually paying for that growth. 2023. McKinsey cuts 2,000 jobs. Internally, it's called Project Magnolia. Then more cuts in 2024, targeting specialists in design, data engineering, and software. Then another 200 technology and support roles in late 2025. McKinsey's headcount, which peaked at 45,000, settles back to roughly 40,000. Accenture eliminates 19,000 roles in 2023. Simultaneously, it doubles its AI and data specialists to 77,000. The pattern is precise. Fire the humans doing the work AI can replicate. Hire the humans who can sell, implement, and manage AI. McKinsey, BCG, and Bain freeze starting salaries for junior consultants for 3 consecutive years. In the UK, the Big Four/graduate intakes by anywhere from 6 to 30%. The industry has a new name for what comes next: the obelisk model. Fewer tiers, smaller junior base, more senior judgment at the centre. The apprenticeship pipeline, the thing that trained generations of consultants by having them do the grunt work until it became judgment, is quietly shutting down. And here's where it gets structurally uncomfortable. McKinsey's UK managing partner has publicly stated that roughly 1/4 of McKinsey's global fees now come from outcome-based pricing. Not hourly, not billable days. Outcomes. Why? Because clients know what AI can do. They know that work which used to take 6 weeks now takes 6 days. They're no longer willing to pay for the weeks that didn't happen. PwC has already experienced client pullback, companies deploying AI internally and cancelling consulting retainers they no longer need. The client is now a competitor, not in theory, in practice. And that creates the structural trap. To stay relevant, consulting firms must sell AI implementation. Every successful AI implementation reduces the client's future dependency on consulting. The better the consultant does their job, the less work there is next year. The firms are not just being disrupted from outside, they're engineering their own disruption from inside and billing for the privilege. Here's the number that ties it together. If AI automates 27% of management consulting tasks, and McKinsey alone bills over £16 billion a year, that is over £4 billion in annual revenue that is structurally obsolete, not threatened, already being automated by the tools the firms are selling to their clients. BCG's AI consulting revenue is growing at almost exactly the rate that traditional work is being automated away. They are replacing their own revenue stream roughly 1-for-1. Every pound earned selling AI consulting may be cancelling a future pound from traditional consulting. McKinsey deploys internal AI agents to automate tasks once handled by junior consultants. Then McKinsey charges clients to deploy AI agents that automate tasks once handled by junior consultants. The firm is selling clients the exact same product it is deploying against its own workforce. Now, the firms will tell you a different story. They'll say AI makes consultants more productive, not redundant. That a partner with AI does the work of 10 analysts. That value moves up the stack, from grunt work to genuine judgment. That the model survives, just scaled differently. And maybe that's partially true. At the top, for the senior partners with genuine expertise to offer. But here's what that story doesn't account for. Junior analysts didn't just do junior work. They learned consulting by doing it. The analyst who spent 2 years building slide decks became the associate who could spot the insight in the deck. The associate became the engagement manager. The engagement manager became the partner. The pyramid wasn't just a profit machine. It was a training machine. You cannot automate the base of the training machine without collapsing the pipeline to the top. The firms are eating their own seed corn. The senior consultants of 2035 need to come from somewhere. Right now, nobody has a convincing answer for where that is. Some clients are already doing exactly what the consultants warned them to fear, deploying AI internally and cancelling the retainers. More will follow. The industry is bifurcating. The firms that successfully pivot to AI implementation survive. At smaller scale, higher margins, fewer people. Generalist mid-tier firms face existential pressure. The industry shrinks in headcount, concentrates at the top, and charges more per engagement for less time spent. And the former junior analysts? They go into industry, into AI startups, into freelance consulting, competing directly with their former employers, armed with the same AI tools, charging a fraction of the rate. Now, one last thing. McKinsey named its internal AI tool Lilli, after a real person. Lillian Dombrowski was the first professional woman ever hired by McKinsey, back in 1945. She became the firm's controller and corporate secretary. She helped build its archives, its knowledge systems, the institutional memory that meant future McKinsey consultants didn't have to start from scratch every time they walked into a new client. She co-founded the firm's transportation and insurance practices. She spent her entire career building systems so that the people who came after her would be stronger. She made herself unnecessary, so the firm would be better after she was gone. Lilli the AI does the same thing, faster, for 72% of the firm's 40,000-strong workforce, 500,000 prompts a month. The woman who was the first professional woman at McKinsey spent her career building knowledge systems to empower the junior employees who would follow her. The AI named after her now automates the entry-level work of those very same people. McKinsey named its AI after her. Make of that what you will. That's not a story about consultants being replaced by AI. It's a story about what happens when the people who understand disruption best are the ones with the most to lose from stopping it. Was the automation of junior consulting inevitable? Or did these firms accelerate their own disruption faster than they had to? Leave that in the comments. I'd like to know what you think. If you want more breakdowns like this, subscribe. I put one out every week. And if there's a collapse you want me to dig into, drop it in the comments. I've already got something lined up that makes this one look straightforward.